In this video, I'll be covering the different characters you'll be able to play as in Domi Online, an open world mmorpg game running on Avalanche. I will cover the character's stats and skills. Your job is to comment which character you will be playing and why. Let's get into the video. Here are the characters: Warrior, Sorceress, Priest, and Amazon. I will begin with a short description of each character. Alright, let's begin with Warrior. Warriors rely on melee auto-attacks with swords or axes and shields for defense. They rely on potions early game and stones of health mid and late game for healing. Warriors cannot use wands or bows. And then we have the Sorceress. Wizards rely on ranged wand auto-attacks, spells and shields and mana shield for defense. Their magic level levels up fast. They can also use Stone of Destruction. Wizards cannot use swords, axes or bows. Then we have the Priests. The Priests rely on ranged wand auto-attacks, spells and shields and mana shield for defense. Their magic levels up fast. They can use Stone of Destruction, Stone of Health and Invisibility Stones. Priests cannot use swords, axes or bows. And then the last one, Amazon. Amazons rely on bow attacks and always need to bring arrows with them to attack enemies. Their magic level levels up fast as well. They can use Stone of Destruction, Stone of Health and Invisibility Stones, and they cannot use swords, axes or wands. So those were the short descriptions of the characters. Let's move on to the stats. I have put all stats together so it's easier to compare them. The starting life amount at level 1 is 125 for warriors and 75 for priests. The other one does not say. Max life increase per level. We can also see here that warriors will increase their health twice as much per level compared with sorcerers and priests. So judging from these stats alone, we can assume warriors will be bulky, tanky characters with a lot of HP, while the sorcerers and priests have low HP and will be fragile. Amazon seems to be a bit of an in-between character in that aspect. Life regen per second. Here, the warrior seems to be the only character that will not need to eat food in order to passively regenerate life. Starting mana amount, and mana you use for spells and skills. Here, as one could assume, warriors have half the amount of mana compared to priests in the beginning. And judging from all the other trends of the stats, my guess would be that the sorceress also starts with 100 mana, and the Amazon ends up in the middle, perhaps with 75 mana. Max mana increased per level. Here, both the sorceress and priest have twice the amount of mana increase per level compared to the Amazon and 4 times as much as the warrior. The starting run speed is the same for all characters, as well as the run speed increase per level. Then we have capacity, which is the amount of items or stuff the character is able to carry, probably in their inventory. Once again, warriors being bulky will be able to carry more stuff compared to the other characters. And the increase in capacity per level also shows that. Those are the stats we can see for now. Now let's move on to the character's skills. We begin with the warrior's skills. So I will go from top to bottom. So the heal heals 50 life. Then we have illuminate, which lights up the screen in a small circle around the player to see during night, in caves, and fades out after 5 minutes. Then we have thorns, which reduces 10% of damage taken to attacker. We have ultimate illumination, lights up the screen in a big circle around the player, so that's the big version of the illuminate. Then we have rend, melee attack that slows down the enemy's movement speed by 50% for 10 seconds and causes 50 damage over 10 seconds. Charge, rushes towards target from a distance, stuns enemy for 2 seconds and does 2x auto attack damage. Then we have Battle Cry, screams and buffs all damage, player and players in party by 20%. This lasts for 1 hour, wow. Create Stone of Health. This creates a consumable item, Stone of Health, which heals 50% of max HP, an additional 5x per magic level healed. Okay, so that kinda goes up as your magic level goes up as well, I assume. Ancient Warcry. Screams and reduces all damage player and players in party takes by 20%. Okay, so it reduces all incoming damage by 20%. This also lasts for 1 hour. And then lastly, Immortality. Renders the warrior immune to damage for 15 seconds. 60-minute cooldown. Okay, so you get... Alright. Okay, so the warrior have 2 buffing skills for players within the same party. One increasing all players' damage and the other reducing all incoming damage. So it seems warrior is a must-have within your party. and will act as some sort of tank due to its high HP and damage reducing skills. Moving on to the Sorceress. As we can see, the Sorceress also have the Heal and Illuminate and Ultimate Illumination skills, except that we have Fireball, which deals 10 damage minus opponent's armor, plus 10x magic level damage to opponent. Then we have the Hex spell, turns the enemy into a frog that walks around in a circle and cannot attack. While hexed, the enemy regains 25 life per second, Hex breaks after 10 seconds or by damage. Moonbeam. 3-second charge before cast, deals 50 damage minus opponent's armor, plus 10x magic level, in addition damage to opponent, and slows enemy by 25% for 1 second. Mana Shield. Damage taken from mana pool instead of health pool. Lasts until deactivated. While activated, it lights up its slot on the action bar and creates a blue dome around the player. Then we have Rain of Fire. Rains down 6 fireballs in a large area. Each fireball does the same damage as a normal fireball, so this is an AoE spell. Create Stone of Destruction. This creates a consumable item, Stone of Destruction, which does 150 damage plus 10x magic level to opponent. Then Blizzard rains down 6 ice spikes in a large area. Each ice spike slows the enemy by 25% for 5 seconds and does damage equivalent of Rain of Fire. Ultimate End creates a massive arcane explosion in a very large circle around the player, doing damage equal to Stone of Destruction to all enemies within range. Summon Fairy Charm. Summons a pink fairy that flies next to the player, increasing mana regeneration for all players in party by 50%. So this is a team buff spell. That's nice. Summon Nava Charm. Summons a white fairy that shoots lightning bolts on enemies, not enemy players, every 5 seconds. Damage calculation same as Fireball. It goes without saying the sorcerers are nuking machines. They are made to deal damage. And also the mana regenerating buff spell. Then we have the priests. We have Healing Incantation, which heals 75 life. Then we have Illuminate, which we have on the other one. We have Regen, heals 1 life per second for 2 minutes. Can be used on self or on other players. Okay. Then we have the Mana Shield here as well. We have Discipline, damages 1 target. 25% of damage dealt is returned in life. Same damage calculation as Fireball. Okay, so that's kind of a life-stealing spell. Create Stone of Health. Creates a consumable item, Stone of Health, which heals 50% of max HP. Okay, so it's the same as for the warrior. Discipline 2 damages all targets surrounding the priest. 10% of damage dealt is returned in life. Ultimate Healing heals all players on screen back to full life. Oh, damn. Light's Blessing increases armor by 15 and run speed by 35. Also lights up the screen like Ultimate Illumination. Solace strikes an enemy for same damage as Stone of Destruction. Enemy stunned for 3 seconds. Creates Stone of Invisibility. Creates a consumable item usable by all classes. Item when used turns their user invisible until they deal or take damage. And the last spell, Halo. Creates a glowing halo that increases all damage done by 25% and all healing received by 25%. Damn! Okay, so the priest is able to both heal itself but also other players. And the priest have many buffing skills, so this is a character you would want to have in your party as well. Priests also have a few life-stealing nukes, which on top of their healing could make this character very hard to kill. Just my thoughts here. And then the last character, Amazon. We have Heal, Illuminate, Ultimate Illuminate here as well, but we have Conjure Arrows. So here you can create a stack of 25 arrows. Then we have Trick Shot, shoots an arrow that slows enemy movement speed by 50%. Haste increases run speed by 25. Stealth makes the player invisible for 30 seconds. Conjure Chaos Arrows creates a stack of 5 Chaos Arrows. Chaos Arrows deal damage like normal arrows but ignore opponent's armor. Ultimate Haste increases run speed by 50. Conjure Ultimate Chaos Arrows creates a stack of 5 Ultimate Chaos Arrows. Each Ultimate Chaos Arrow shoots 5 Chaos Arrows towards enemies, hitting up to 5 targets. Okay, so here with this one you can target multiple enemies at the same time with this spell. Then we have Natana's Touch. buffs the player to increase run speed by 25 and increases maximum life by 150. Spirit of Shen Yi buffs the player to increase attack speed by 25%. Okay, so the Amazon does not have any high damage nuking skills. It did however have one skill that targets multiple enemies. It seems Amazon will mainly be used for kiting or juking fights with their run speed increasing skills, so in other words they will deal damage from a distance while running around a lot as their main way of protecting themselves. Alright, which of these characters would be your favorite character to play and why? Let me know in the comments. I'll be sure to keep my eyes out for another Domi update. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.